5 rounds down in 2026 and 5 winners in the first 5 races. What a start to season 12 we've had in Formula E, and now a brand new venue awaits our 20 drivers. Welcome along to the CUPRA RAVAL Madrid ePrix. Let's take a closer look at this circuit then. Round 6 here in Spain. Our first time at this in this country since 2021. Our first time ever at this Jarama venue. And let's have a look at it. My name's Tom Brooks. Alongside me, Sam Berg, Karun Chandok. Sam, talk us through this track. It's the circuit you've driven back in testing in 2024. How is it all made up?
What a circuit, nearly 4 kilometers, fast, winding, lots of long radius corners, big stop into turn 1, then a nearly flat out right-hander, turn 2, winds through turn 3, 4, then you've got the compression at turn 5, working your way through turn 7 where the attack mode is, turns back on itself, now you start to come back down the hill, through the hairpin at turn 9, and then you're into the final sector. Turn 10, flat out right-hander, last chicane, and what a place to go racing.
Yeah, just under 4 kilometres long, 14 turns in total, and a 23 lapper expected for the race here this afternoon. Here's how the grid lines up. Felipe Drugovich right at the back after being fastest in practice this morning. Degrassi alongside. Third, his third time starting from 18th in season 12. He's got Joel Eriksson for company, the 9th row for the second successive race for the Swede. Mitch Evans, his worst qualifying of the season, with Taylor Barnard aiming for his 3rd consecutive points finish from a lowly 15th. Next up is Buemi, and then Nico Muller, who's led the most laps in season 12 so far. Hometown hero Pepe Marti equals his career best starting position with P12. Jake Dennis for company alongside him. And let's have a look then at how he lines up in terms of the top 10. Zane Maloney has his 2nd consecutive top 10 start, aiming for his 2nd points finish of the season. Dan Ticktum missed the duels by just 4/100ths of a second. He was quickest though in FP1, only dry session so far this weekend. Roland spun on his flying lap in the quarter-finals. Max Günther also ran on in the quarter-finals, his highest starting position for the DS Penske team so far. Pascal Wehrlein, new front powertrain after qualifying, and a 3rd top 10 start of his 2026 season. Edoardo Mortara, his 5th dual appearance in 6 races. 1st and 2nd in the championship, both lining up on the 3rd row of the grid. Norman Nato, a mistake on his flying lap means that he equals his grid best position with 4th place. Costa is the lead Jaguar powered car. 3 out of their 4 cars are outside of the top 10 here today. De Vries takes his 5th front row start and missed out on his first pole since 2022 by a very small margin. Cassidy, meanwhile, takes his 8th career pole and Citroën Racing's first ever here in Formula E. Great to see all of the fans lining the grandstands here. The green flag is waved at the back. We're about to get ready to go racing. Cassidy on the left, De Vries on the right-hand side, waiting for those 5 red lights, which will come on momentarily, and then the CUPRA RAVAL Madrid ePrix is about to get underway. Tension in the air for the drivers as they sit there waiting with eager anticipation. The red light's now about to come on. Who will be El Matador in Madrid? As the lights go out and we go racing. Good start from Cassidy. Nice one from De Vries as well. Look at the Costa going side by side with the Mahindra as they come down towards the first corner. Mortara also jostling for position as well. He is side by side with Norman Nato. Cassidy with the lead. De Costa to the outside. And off onto the grass and to the gravel there is the number 23. That's the Nissan of Norman Nato, who's in some bother down at turn 1.
Yeah, big shame for Norman Nato. They're qualified so well, but up at front, yeah, Nick Cassidy, Nick De Vries, Antonio Da Costa, line astern.
Yeah, Da Costa got a good start. He tried to go around the outside of Nick Cassidy, and in the end didn't quite get a good enough exit, which allowed the Mahindra of Nick De Vries to go into 2nd place. So watch Dan Ticktum. He's made a great start and is now battling wheel to wheel with Edo Mortara top.
Yeah, fantastic there for Dan Ticktum. New livery on that CUPRA Kiro looks slightly different to what you might expect, but that's opened the door here for Pascal Wehrlein to send it through on the inside down at turn 7. Can he get the better of Mortara? He's got the inside line and now he's got the place then. So that's great for the Porsche driver. Not bad also there for Dan Ticktum, who still sits side by side with Mortara. Down in towards turn 9. We're about to head on the run down the toboggan, if you like, hill into the left-hander. On board we ride with Ticktum, and he still sits alongside Pascal Wehrlein.
And he's got ahead of Edo Mortara, so that's 1 position gain. Is he going to try and go down the inside of Pascal Wehrlein? He is. Is he going to make it stick? No, he's not. The other thing to note from the race start, it just came up on our screen, Zane Maloney, the Lola driver, has got a drive-through penalty for some kind of infraction. Here he comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, the team would have known about that prior to the start of the race, given that he's serving it at the end of this first lap. So it's not ideal for Zane Maloney. Points were the plan here today for the Barbadian driver. The end of lap 1 then, Cassidy it is that leads, De Vries in second, De Costa over the line there in third position, followed by his former teammate Pascal Wehrlein. Ticktum defending there from Edoardo Mortara. Just behind Mortara, you've got Gunther and then Jake Dennis. Ollie Rowland's not had a particularly brilliant impression on this race. Lost a position from 8th on the grid down to 9th.
Yeah, disappointing start for both Nissan drivers, especially Norman Nato, though, as Wehrlein goes around the outside.
Okay, that's good work done. Let's settle in there. And drive mode 2, reminder on brake pads.
Yeah, and Pascal Wehrlein just working his way nicely up towards the front, now up into P2. Does he want to now settle in, or is he going to go for that race lead?
Well, this was his sort of strategy in Jeddah, wasn't it? Try and cycle up to the front, and then he had control of when and where he wanted to take the pit boost and the attack mode. So it seems to be the Porsche strategy at the moment. Cycle up into a safe space up the front.
Yeah, we're expecting pit boost window to be around laps 9 to 15. It's when the battery is in between 40 to 60% state of charge in the race. So essentially, that means that drivers can pick when they go for it. So maybe if you're a bit further down the order, we might see someone coming in early doors, trying to get clear air, some prep position to run their own race, and then basically get the undercut in the race to then get some gap. And there's a front wing that's gone missing there.
Yeah.
Well, looks like one of the Nissans. Is it one of the Nissans? It's certainly a red front wing that's gone missing, and there's been some contact in the mid-pack.
No, it's De Vries.
Mortara.
It's De Vries.
Yeah, it's Nick De Vries with his front wing that's missing there, so he's had some contact. Look at what happened then for the Mahindra driver. So we're coming here in towards turn 10. You've got De Costa on his outside, Wehrlein directly in front, and
No, he just misjudged it. Completely misjudged it.
he's done his wing mirror there as well. I wonder if there might be a black and orange flag coming the way of Nick De Vries here.
I'm sorry, but for Nick De Vries there, that is pure driver error. You should expect the drivers in front. They are, in this pack style racing that we've got accustomed to, they do slow down at the apex by, more than normal. And he's completely misjudged that.
That's a disappointment there for Mahindra especially. I mean, there's been a missed opportunity, at least on one side of the garage, for a good few times there from Nick De Vries. Let's have a look at the race start then. So Cassidy gets away well. De Vries looks like he got away all right initially, but the start from De Costa from the second row of the grid on the drier side was phenomenal.
Yeah, great start by De Costa, but he just runs out of road a little bit on the exit of turn 1.
Nato locked up, didn't he?
Yeah,
locked
just
up the front right there.
It was always a mistake, wasn't it? And then his teammate directly in front of him.
But with De Vries, how many times has he been so quick and then makes an error like that? It's
New voice on the race engineer, by the way. That's Mike Henderson, who's in a temporary role there, as Nico Morelli's former race engineer has now left the team. And, well, Ticktum sitting there in second position. Side by side they go. Pepe Marti and Dan Ticktum, his teammate. On the outside is Marti with the extra traction, the extra power, and he's going to use that to his advantage very nicely on the exit of turn 7 to move his way through into second. Now into the race lead. The Spaniard is in front to the roar of the crowd here in Madrid. They are going to be going absolutely apoplectic in the grandstands.
So look at the graphic on the left of the timing tower. Felipe Drugovich, when you see that lightning bolt come up in white, that means he is inside the pit boost window. So he's the first driver who's within that 60 to 40%, which will allow him to pit on the snap, should he and Andretti choose to do so. Nick Cassidy is another one who is in that window now.
Down in towards the final chicane we go, and past the grandstands then here. So none of the leaders decided to pit at this point. Cassidy, Drugovich, and Gunther, as well as John O'Byrne, all in the pit boost window as it stands for now. Marti's just entered it as well. That's because he's in attack mode. He's used a bit more energy relative to some of the other drivers around, and now we're starting to see them all coming into this same window. So who's going to be the driver that will blink first?
Well, we should point out that the teams only have one charger, so you can only bring in one car at a time. And therefore, it's a tricky one, because I think on this lap, we're going to end up with most of the field.
Yep, we should have moved earlier. Sorry.
They've lost a bit of time there. Through goes Wehrlein, through goes De Costa, and ultimately the undercut was the strategy that has proven to be to the benefit of the drivers that pitted at their first available opportunity.
Yeah, I'm surprised that more drivers didn't react there or go for the attack mode, because I think all weekend long, Sam, you'll be the one saying it, right? Track position is key, free air. And if you have an opportunity for unleashing some pace, you need to do it. Now what? This whole group of 5 cars are going to be coming in all together.
Yeah, the only one that's not is Mitch Evans there, as Marti, very late as he turns his way through the pit entry. You can see it's a slight chicane actually going into there to make sure the drivers slow down sufficiently.
Yeah, clear air is absolutely king. These guys have been squabbling for too long, holding each other up, and the likes of Costa, you know, clean air, pretty laps in, and a 10-second time penalty there for Taylor Barnard for that incident with Jean-Eric Byrne. But as I was saying, clean air is king.
And bad news also for Nick de Vries. It never rains but it pours. He's under investigation for pit boost procedure there as well. So we'll wait and see what the outcome is as a result of that. So Marti, Cassidy, Dennis, Muller, Eriksson, all in pit boost at the moment. Roland and Maloney yet to pit as it stands now. Likewise, Mitch Evans. Meanwhile, here is your pit boost leader, your effective race leader now at this stage, Antonio Felix da Costa. He has got Max Günther, who's in attack mode at this point. Just to remind you, of course, a lot of the drivers that are now out of pit boost have still not used their attack mode. Only 4 out of the 20 on track have used their attack mode at this point in the race. So there's still plenty of time for things to change. And that's why Günther's sort of out of position as it stands for now.
And look how much time and how many positions Nick Cassidy is hemorrhaged by being locked in that battle.
Yeah, I mean, just being out there behind Pepe Marti at a slower pace has dropped him so far behind, hasn't it?
Buemi's about to come to the end of attack mode in just under 30 seconds or so time, and we've got 3 laps now remaining here in Madrid, with da Costa leading from Pascal Wehrlein.
Yeah, it's a straight fight between 2 drivers that have a lot of beef.
Ticktum and Buemi side by side into turn 1. Buemi just about holds on to the podium places for now, but he's about to come to the end of that attack mode. Just 5 seconds remaining, and then he's surely going to be a sitting duck to the challenge of Dan Ticktum, who goes to the outside line and gets himself through into 3rd place. Mortara fancies picking the pockets of the Envision driver there, as well as Mitch Evans, who's come through from seemingly nowhere. He's gained 10 places from where he starts on the grid, possibly make that 11 places, because Buemi again cycles down the order once more.
Another awesome drive from Mitch Evans. He was nowhere. He's been nowhere all weekend, and then in the race he comes alive.
Oh, that's a proper move there from Edoardo Mortara on the outside. Look at that sin from Dan Ticktum around the outside into turn 7. Side by side he goes with his fellow Porsche-powered machine of Pascal Wehrlein. Ticktum's got the inside line as we come on the run down the hill into turn 8, into the braking zone of turn 9, and Ticktum through for seconds.
I did say he was going to get his elbows out, and he absolutely delivered. What a brilliant move around the outside. Now this is a straight fight for the victory. Da Costa, Ticktum, Wehrlein, Evans and Mortara all have got similar amount of attack mode left. This is now a pure motor race for the victory.
I was talking to Idris Elba before the start of this race, and he said, I've just got a feeling that this is going to be a good race. They're in a prime position. Look at Evans lunging his way to the inside into the final chicane. Gets the move done on Pascal Wehrlein and moves his way through for 3rd.
What a move from Mitch Evans. He's hungry, isn't he? He wants to go hunting for another win. He's got 15. Can he make it 16th?
2 Jaguars then in 1st and 3rd place. Could they be on for a 1-2 finish? Are we going to see a Jaguar and Porsche powered podium? Is it going to be the 2 Jaguars, or is it going to be the 2 Porsche powered machines of Dan Ticktum and Pascal Wehrlein? Coming to the end of attack mode is da Costa. Ticktum likewise there as well. Couple of seconds now remaining. And Evans also as well. So now the top 4 all out of attack mode, all with a little bit of breathing space to Edoardo Mortara, and now all with a chance of challenging for victory with 2 laps now remaining.
But Evans is the one with more energy. He's got 1% more energy than the others, so watch out for that. That could be a factor. They've all banked enough to be pretty flat out, but Ticktum here having another sniff.
Right, good job, good job. Right, let's keep it solid.
Voice of Mike Henderson there, temporary race engineer for Dan Ticktum. De Vries picks up another 5-second time penalty. That'll be for the pit boost infringement that we saw. So, meanwhile, the front end of this race, lap and a half now remaining. On board we ride here with da Costa. I wonder if the 2 Jaguars are going to try and work something out, do some team tactics to challenge for this victory. Evans goes for the outside line for 2nd place on Dan Ticktum through turn 10. He's got the track position and manages to find the gap there. And now it is the 2 Jaguars that are 1 and 2. Da Costa leads his teammates.
We're going to get a final lap battle here. Look at this.
What's Ian James going to be thinking right now? Do you say, right, stay there, or is Mitch Evans going to be making a move on his teammate?
One more lap to go then, a four-way fight for victory here in Madrid. Da Costa, Evans, Ticktum and Wehrlein. Side by side we go, Evans versus Da Costa. Down in towards turn one, the two Jaguars duelling for victory.
Okay, just beware, Evans behind is 1% up on you. On the last call.
And that could prove to be the decisive factor then. So Da Costa now is the inside line as we come through into turn three, as Evans tries to attack, tries to retaliate, tries to find his way through on his teammate, but Da Costa parking that car exactly where the Kiwi doesn't want him to.
Evans has come from 16th on the grid, and he's battling for this victory. Half a lap to go, Tom. This is where we saw Ticktum go for the move around the outside. Is he going to be brave enough? Is Evans going to be brave enough into turn 8?
Into the right-hander we go then again. Da Costa defending that line. Evans trying to attack. Side by side he goes with his teammate. Can he find his way through? No, not quite. The door's very firmly shut for Da Costa as we come on the run down into the tricky turn 9. There's an opportunity, there's a window on the inside here, maybe for him to have a lunge.
Watch out for turn 12, guys. Watch out turn 12. Mitch Evans, I guarantee it, he's going to be sending it into the final chicane.
No doubt about it then. So on board we ride with Da Costa. Evans behind, Ticktum in third position. Wehrlein keeping a watching brief on proceedings. If they start squabbling, it might open the door here for Ticktum. It might open the door for Pascal Wehrlein as well. Out of turn 10 we go. The sweeping right-hander of turn 11 now awaits them as we head into the final chicane. Da Costa leads. Evans goes for the outside. On the inside is Dan Ticktum side by side with the Kiwi as they come through into the final chicane. Out of the final corner we go now. Antonio Felix Da Costa wins here in Madrid ahead of Mitch Evans. It's a Jaguar 1-2 and Wehrlein gets onto the podium with third place ahead of Dan Ticktum right at the checkered flag. What a race, what a start to Formula E here in Madrid. It's a Jaguar 1-2 in Spain.
Stunning from the Jaguar boys. Absolutely brilliant. Completely contrasting races there. Da Costa led most of the second half of that race, but Evans came from nowhere, came from the back of the grid. 16 places he's gained over the course of this ePrix, and then fighting with his...
That was amazing, mate. That was amazing. That was a lot of managing. A lot of managing. Woo, that was a difficult one. That was awesome. Look.
Please welcome to the stage Carmelo Sainz-Navarro, President of FIA Senate and President of RAPE.
Investigations going on during the race, which was some penalties handed out as well, so not ideal at all there for Mitch
Next,
Evans.
on behalf of Mohammed Ben Sulayem, FIA President, please welcome His Majesty Felipe VI, King of Spain, to present the FIA President's Medal to Antonio Felix Da Costa.
Trophy, the FIA medal to Antonio Felix Da Costa.
What an honour that is to get presented.
And finally, please welcome His Majesty Felipe VI, King of Spain, to present the trophy to our winner, Antonio Felix Da
the winner's
Costa.
trophy to Antonio Felix Da Costa. What an honour for Da Costa. holds it aloft for the second successive race here in Formula E. What a drive from Dak. He is well and truly back. I have to say, the crowd here have just been phenomenal.
And now it's time
Great
to
atmosphere for
celebrate
the weekend.
with
Now time to run and take cover as the Tattinger champagne is sprayed on the podium. Wehrlein also celebrating as well, just popped his daughter into some safer hands. And at halfway,